Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. And welcome back to another great episode of the Filmistines, the fastest, most prolific, most natural, realistic podcast on the face of Earth, on the planet. You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a brand new episode, including this episode. This is a brand new episode if you're listening to it the day it came out, which will be a very special day, I'm sure, for you out there, the listener. I'm joined today by my scrappy friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
Did you like that one?
Well, I'll take it. I like it.
Because you're scrappy and, you know,
Yes.
you're also scrap. Not
You're
a-
scrap.
And today, we are talking about is it an iconic film to the early 2000s? I feel like it's a little undersung. I don't feel like it's remembered as high as like things like Ice Age and Shrek and maybe Madagascar and some of those early Pixar films, of course. I feel like Robots is kind of not in that pantheon, or at least maybe not in the important showcase room. And of course, we're talking about Robots, 2005's iconic film to me, to my childhood, and to yours, right?
Yeah, I feel like everyone saw this movie, but it just didn't stay there like those other films.
Yeah. I don't feel like everyone saw this movie. I feel like I was
No?
like the only person to know about this movie.
Really?
I don't know if I was. It just never came up, I guess, in childhood conversations, and I don't know. So we were about 10 when this came out, 10, 11, and I can't, my mind's eye just was not, I had it on VHS, I remember. It was probably one of the last movies they had on VHS. I think I still have it, actually. I think I know where it's at, too. But I just feel like I was the only person to ever know about this movie. Until you've brought it up in the last few years several times. I think we watched it in college, maybe. I think it's the last time I've seen it. Pretty sure. Do you remember, does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Maybe just in the background or something. But this film is nostalgic. As much as I hate to misuse that word like everyone else, it definitely taps into, you know, a very specific time and place, you know, in your past, right?
Yes, for sure. And maybe I was the friend that made the friends watch this movie, and that's why I felt like everybody watched it. But it just seems, why would you not? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's like too niche for other people not to have seen it. But I don't know. You guys let us know. Did you watch this film? You know, all of you late 20 babies, right? I'm in the right age group. Yeah. Or on, I guess. Did you watch this film? Was this iconic to your childhood? Because we had this on DVD and we watched it multiple times when I was younger. And it's got a very unique cast, voice actors. But one of those includes, you know, Robin Williams. And I feel like everyone loves Robin Williams movies. So this would be in there. This would be in your Robin Williams collection that all families have seen. But I don't know. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, I didn't even realize until we just watched it that I guess it's been long enough that I had forgotten that Robin Williams was Fender. It does not go off in my head. It will now, I guess, but before it did not go off in my head that, you know, Robin Williams was in this movie. I didn't know any of the voice actors actually at all. And then Ewan McGregor, he's in this too. He's the main actor, main voice. Rodney Copperbottom.
Yeah. Then there's Amanda Bynes, which she's iconic to that time.
Sure.
And then you have, what's her name?
Halle Berry? Oh, Jennifer Coolidge?
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge. And Halle Berry.
And Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but yeah.
Yeah?
That guy.
That guy. It's a quick movie. Cool 90 minutes. It's almost too fast. We get from point A to B to C to D, lightning speed. I feel like there's no A .1, .2, no B .1, .2. We just boom, 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 boom. We're running through this movie. But it works, because it's, by every measure, a very cute, children's movie. But it starts to tap into some fun things that I wish it would just stick on a few ideas a little bit longer. Like, I mean, of course, what's his name? The big guy. Big Weld. Yeah. I wish we would stick with him a little bit more and get to know him a little bit, but we see him, he sees himself as a loser now, and then he gets inspired, all in the same kind of sentence, and it happens real quick, and he's such a fun character, such a fun moment when we're introduced to him, that I wish we could have picked his brain a little bit, because he's the core of Rodney,
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like how fast-paced it is. I think if I'd have to think about that. I think it flowed well.
I do too. I think the pace was on point.
Yeah.
As fast as it was, I'm actually shocked how well-paced it is. And it has everything to do with the color, the animation, the chemistry, the voice acting. It's top-notch. It really is. I don't know if you know this, but it was directed by the guy who did Ice Age.
I didn't know that.
Easily one of the most iconic animated films of all time.
Yes.
And yeah, the first Ice Age.
But that makes sense because there is a Sid the Sloth cameo in the movie.
I didn't see that.
And I noticed that when I was a kid.
Where the heck is that?
Excited. I think it was when Rodney first arrived to the
in the train
to
station?
the city. Yeah.
What? I gotta Google this. Hang on.
Yeah, Google that.
You noticed that too?
When I was a kid,
That's
man, and I was
sick.
so excited that movies could have this kind of thing in them. It's awesome. We talk about crossovers in our previous episode, but cameos and Easter eggs are just way too fun.
Oh my god. I guess I just didn't connect the two. I know that bit. I can see that. I see the robot in that scene.
Yeah.
I didn't connect that. I didn't think about that.
Just something about cameos and Easter eggs are just fun. They're just fun to include in movies. And noticing them as a kid makes you feel like...
Yeah, there's like a mystique around that.
Yeah.
That's just unmatched. No, I get that for sure.
It's like, whoa, what do we have here?
Is that
what
supposed to be there?
Yeah.
Did they accidentally put that there?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to think that in games too. Like, oh my god, what is this secret? What is this doing here? I can't even think of anything specifically off the top of my head.
You look around.
Yeah, you're like, it's an interesting feeling for sure. I still get that a little bit, but now I anticipate it. I remember one time, and I think it was it's probably the last time I felt like this when I was being a kid, was I found a Dark Souls reference. I guess it may have been Demon Souls at the time. I'm not sure if it's Dark Souls or Demon Souls reference in Borderlands 2 with the Onion Knight and stuff. Do you know the Onion Knight, the guy with the big, he has like a onion shaped helmet, and he's like got a big gut too.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's so cool. I just like can't get over that. And I'd go over there. every time I was in that area, I'd walk over there and look at it. So I was just like, what the fuck? How does this happen?
I mean that's stuff, man. And I wonder if kids today feel it because, my nieces are watching videos, YouTube shorts, TikToks of these kinds of things before they even watch the movies. So is it getting spoiled for them? And when you watch that stuff, I mean, you're a kid watching a movie alone. You notice that, you kind of look around, and it's just so special to you right then in that moment. So I don't know, man. I love that. So I didn't know that until now. So that's even more awesome. I wish I wouldn't. Well, no, I don't wish I would have known that as a kid. As a kid, it's like, what's Sid doing there? So that's pretty cool. And I guess I like how this film has, these little types of cameos, and then all these little clever jokes and, fun, like puns. I don't think enough children's movies play with those elements, especially now.
No, absolutely. I think children's movies today tap into like your kind of Marvelisms now. Like they're just like a little stupid. Because I feel like Robin Williams is a great example of just having this like slapsticky kind of situational comedy that's just on point and it's classy, and you're like, oh, I see what you did there. And then, but today I feel like we're too into the cringe humor, we're too into dad humor, we're like, we've swung over here, and I'm not there for that.
Yeah.
And the robots in not Madagascar. I'm not sure about Madagascar. Maybe that fits. I was gonna say Ice Age kind of definitely fits into the robots bill, and of course Shrek.
Yes.
And there's just something very adult about the humor, but also just on point and timeless, and it talks to all generations, I feel like, still. And then as you get older, things get funnier.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it works out. Robots, it's a funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, we have in the beginning of the movie where they have to build their kid. The parts come in, they get shipped in, which is freaking awesome.
And hilarious.
Yes. And they build the kid, and there's, one part missing, and they're like, where does this part go? And then it's like, oh, I think we got a boy.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, it's just kind of like, you think you get it, and it's like, okay, haha. And I don't know if boys would get that more than girls would. I know at my age, I was very, very innocent and naive about that kind of stuff. The differences between boys and girls, I guess, bodies, specifically. So it kind of went over my head, and watching it now.
It still goes over your head?
No, not that bad. But, yeah, and then, before they build him, the dad comes running in, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I missed the delivery. And
yeah.
that's hilarious. That's so funny. And it's just so small, so clever. Great. I don't remember any of the puns, but I'm sure Robin Williams had so many.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call them puns or like little quips. Just
yeah, like when Rodney and that girl go visit Big Weld, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were the Domino's delivery guy." Like clever, because he's fucking playing with Domino's, but there's Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Good stuff. Good stuff. One thing about the movie that was just kind of off, rewatching it was, and I think you said something. You were like, why is that drum a robot?
Yeah, a lot of the devices were robots, but not all the devices.
It's like they were picking and choosing what got to be a robot. I think a fire hydrant was a robot, but...
And watches.
Yeah, and the light pole that fucking died when Aunt Fanny...
Which was hilarious.
Let one rip. That was awesome. Not her letting one rip. That's kind of okay. That's a little bit too childish.
Yeah.
But the lamp dying because of that was awesome. It's just, it was just a little bit too pick and choose what got to be a robot, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah, because they were all, I can't remember the fire hydrant one, but it seemed like they were all for the sake of a joke, too. And so, we still have to tap into, this is a kid's movie. This is going to speak mostly to kids. Kids are going to go see this at theaters and whatnot. So we gotta meet them halfway at the very least. And so we see that a few times throughout, which all of them are quick and out of the way and actually sometimes funny. Because like the fart one, it's like, of course we gotta have a fart joke in here. Every fucking 10-year-old thinks that's funny. But then the lamp dies, and but he's not only dies, but then the morning there's tape around where he died. It's just like, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it was outlined. Yeah, I think the fire hydrant, there was a robot dog trying to pee on the fire hydrant. It was like, hey, not here or something. So, yeah.
That's for kids.
For the joke.
Yeah.
And the drum, I guess, was just saying, ow.
Yeah, that was just, I could see your 5-year-old niece laughing at that because someone's in pain,
Yep.
And he's expressing his pain.
I can definitely see all those little kids laughing at that.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting hurt.
And you're like, that's not funny. That's stupid. But then you're laughing at them laughing at that, which is in itself funny.
Yeah. But when they get hurt, they're not laughing. Oh my gosh. So it's funny.
What do we think of the this like soft touch into capitalism, almost to the point where they provide the problem and then they also provide the solution? But I guess in this case we're facing something actually a little more specific to the time, maybe, is we are facing this thing that is like maybe universal to like your phone, right? You got the auxiliary cords on your phone or whatever, and they decide to just take it away. And so now you have to buy the more expensive device because you can't buy that one or whatever. And so it's just kind of a funny, we don't really get into it any more than that, I guess, but it is kind of the catalyst for Rodney to be like, no, this is kind of fucked up.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then inspires Big Weld.
Yeah,
in the process.
It's cute. It's clever. It's not too much. That
I think that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Not too much.
Yeah, a kid could understand this. There's old robots. They want to put new parts out there, but then the old robots need to be able to afford these new parts, or they need to be able to fix themselves. I mean, this concept is put in such a way that a child could understand, I think, and kind of get them thinking about how things are, because you could even say that about cars. We have cars out right now from, I'm sure there's 2024 cars out already. I don't know how fast cars get released the previous year, but I'm sure there's old ass cars still on the road right now too.
Yeah, some countries are actually famous for taking care of their vehicles. Do you know that?
No.
Cuba is extremely famous for taking care of their vehicles because the world basically sanctioned off any manufacturer from shipping their cars into Cuba, and so they had all these cars from like the 40s and 50s and then they were taken off the map to being from being a client for these manufacturers. And so they were forced by just the nature of doing business to take care of their cars. And so today lots of people have pristine top condition 1950s vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit of a time capsule over there, and that's because a lot of the world, we don't see that today. We would never stop working with countries like fucking Saudi Arabia now and Venezuela or China or something, places where we get our oil and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Russia, of course. But yeah, poor Cuba, they were it seemed like they were the one and only to really fucking get what? No, we're not going to work with you guys anymore. And that went the other way too, I think, for a while, in that we wouldn't buy any Cuban products. But now I think we do buy some Cuban products.
Okay.
I think Cuban gold is sold to the world. Cuban necklaces, it was very famous. And then, of course, the Cuban cigar is probably their most famous product.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think those are legal now everywhere too. Those were illegal to have at one point in our lifetime, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Huh. No, I didn't know that. But I mean, even now, how many kids of our age or younger, age driving young adults actually go get their oil change when they need to, or get their tires rotated? Do they even know your tires are supposed to get rotated? And check your oil. Do you check your oil? Do you check your tires? See how bare they are? Or are you waiting until, your grown ass neighbor or dad or friend or whoever tells you, hey, you need to get those tires?
You got bald tires.
Yeah. It's like, what? Tires can get bald? Yeah.
I didn't know they grew hair.
So
it's funny. You would think Ratchet would want to introduce the middle market, because I guess it looked like Big Weld was obsessed with just taking care of the old.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, no, out with the old. What's just anyone, let's speak to the 1% who can afford to, buy these products and stuff, kind of very Apple approach, I guess. Except minus we didn't see any of the culture around the upgraded devices and stuff. You'd think Ratchet, being a smart businessman, I guess he was ran by his mom, of course. We see that. But he would want to introduce better parts, better new parts, but not quite on the upgrade level where we could, talk to the middle class, basically. And then every once in a while, the lower class can pick and choose at the middle class products, and they can, slowly but surely kind of upgrade themselves that way. But instead, he was just trying to almost Nazify the whole corporation and just get rid of the lower class.
Yeah, and I think that speaks a little bit to kind of individuality and how each of these robots don't need to be the same, because all of Ratchet's new parts were all the same size, same color, same, shininess. And we have all these other robots with so much personality and things colors that make them different, first of all, and the parts make them different. I mean, you have, Amanda Bynes here, her character has like pigtails and she's yellow. And then you have Fender, who has a fucking hand crank thing on his head, shows his age, but he's red, he's kind of vibrant, he's got a loud personality. And then you have Aunt Fanny, who's got, a big butt, and she's kind of like snail looking, and she's got one wheel, and they're just so different from each other. So, on that level, it speaks to kids that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be an individual. It's okay to have this personality. So maybe that's kind of where that was going with.
No, absolutely. We tiptoe into like that universality kind of almost Nazification kind of Aryan type thing. That's why I was saying I feel like we could have gotten just a little bit more of things here and there, but they do kind of take the easy way out, and that it's not Ratchet behind this. He's not the mastermind. He's just the good-looking puppet, right?
Yeah.
And then his mom, that thing is
the thing.
What is her inspiration? Is it because she's so ugly that she wants to destroy? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What is her obsession with?
Is she just like controlling? Maybe we're dealing with a narcissistic disorder here, because the dad is like hanging from some wires, or
he's just hanging there. Yeah,
he's just hanging there.
He's basically naked. Yeah.
He's like, hi, son.
And he seems fine with it.
Yeah, he's cool with it. But she runs the production where all these robots that no longer work or no longer have parts, the chop, I guess that's what they called it, and they get turned into the shiny new parts, right? They get melted down and get turned into the shiny new parts. So maybe she's just looking at it from a money perspective. She just wants to get rich, selling just to the, like you said, 1%, getting rid of all these other people. But how does she specifically, her character? I don't know. It's a good question.
I feel like we need just a little bit more going on there. Maybe 30 more minutes could really elevate this movie in a really fun way. I don't know though. I don't know, but I guess we do get the kind of ironic, you got what you got coming to you kind of thing with her, and that she's an ugly, in quotes, kind of robot. She's clearly breaking down and not perfection like her son is, or Halle Berry's robot character is. What's her name?
Cappy. And
that she gets thrown into the furnace at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that just might be the point of her there. Yeah, I don't know if 30 minutes would elevate this movie. I guess it all depends on where you decide to put it. That could be one place.
Like a little like flashback with Ratchet would have been kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And where maybe it's about Ratchet, but we see his mom kind of pulling the strings about something going on, and it kind of foreshadows what was to come with the business and stuff. And I wish we could have just got a little more of a philosophical thing happen with Big Weld, like Wizard of Oz style, or I don't know, because he's there, but he's kind of a mysterious figure, right? He's there in Robot City, but Rodney can't find him. No one seems to know where he's at. Well, I guess that's not true. People, Cappy takes Rodney there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So she knows, but I guess there is kind of a mysteriousness there, because he's got a goodness about him that maybe we're nervous about, because we just saw Ratchet and how he's running the business and stuff. And it's like, okay, so Big Weld must be a fraud and just be a TV personality kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like then we could have got something really deep when we met Big Weld, but we really didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, maybe they could have done something different there.
That's the only problem I really have with this movie, is I wish if I could ask for one thing more, and it's more about Big Weld. That would have been it. And of course, he was played by Mel Gibson. He was played by Mel Brooks, the legendary Mel Brooks.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Only in recent months since I've been a study or a film.
Filmstein.
Filmsteins at patreon.com/Filmsteins.
Go subscribe. But one thing that was weird, that was off to me, I guess, was that it seemed like Rodney's dad was the only one who had a job that was on his body, because he was a dishwasher, and that was part of his self. And no one else seemed to have that I can remember.
Couldn't he take it off? Yeah?
Yeah, in the end he took it off and was like, here's your crap, and like threw it at his boss. Yeah.
I guess we didn't see a lot of like blue collar work happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw mostly executive stuff, which, they're just bean counters and arguing and shit. And then we saw like this, like the slum of the bots. Half of them probably were jobless and
good for
nothings. And so, which I don't know. We didn't see any really blue collar workers, doing their thing other than him, which was cool. That was some of my favorite parts of the movie. Pretty much everything to do with his dad.
Yeah.
I liked his dad. His dad was probably the most, kind of philosophically waxing person, telling him to chase his dreams, and then the end is pretty iconic. I feel like, in my mind, that's a very iconic ending. Is it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I have that, like, sound
of
the dad playing the trumpet in my head just randomly pop up.
Yeah. Me too. Okay, good. Because I didn't have someone in my life when I was little who had this movie in theirs, like it just wasn't, I don't know, I feel like I wasn't around anyone who watched this movie.
That's weird.
But that's not the case for Ice Age or Shrek. Everybody has seen Shrek. Everyone's seen Ice Age. Everyone's seen the early Pixar films, Cars and Nemo and shit. I always feel like this was something that was a little undersung, at least. I'm not underappreciated or rated, because I feel like it's rated appropriately. People who have seen this movie reflect on it properly, I think, equivalently.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good.
Yeah. I think they had a lot of fun, first off, making this film, because there's so much detail everywhere with this world they created. This isn't based off of anything. It's not based off of a cartoon or a book, or, they didn't have any source material. So that was pretty fun, especially the traveling. Well, I guess not the traveling. I guess just that scene where they get launched. They get put together in a ball.
It's
Rodney
like a Rube Goldberg
and Fender.
machine.
Yeah, and then they just have so much fun with that, and that's so cool. And throughout the film, they have so much fun with everything they created here.
The dominoes.
Yeah, that's probably the most iconic scene. And the dishwashing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Where his little robot creation is washing the the dishes. The
fight at the end.
Yeah.
Which is a little out of place, but we gotta have the fight. But it's kind of, it's obviously out of place, because it's just these people aren't, and they make fun of it in a way, because they all dress, like, I think Fender dresses up, or several of them dress up as like warriors, basically.
Yeah.
So they make fun of themselves a little bit, because they know it's just not. That doesn't fit anywhere in any movie, a battle like that, so I like that. But that is kind of, it's very dynamic and fun still.
Yeah, and I'm sure they had fun making these sounds, making a lot of...
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I don't know what you call that. It's not the score here, is it? It's just the sounds that these robots make.
Yeah, the soundscape, and they call it this specific, like if you're talking about a specific sound, they call it Foley. There it is. It's all the little sounds that make up the soundscape, basically.
Okay. Yeah, and, making the, like, whooshing sounds, or, like, the ball sliding across metal sounds. Like, I bet that was fun to make. And then the end, of course, I bet that was really fun to make, too.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun, cute movie. Pretty, simple but clever ideas. A lot of puns. A lot of jokes that I think age well, this movie, besides maybe some of the music, like Britney Spears, like Fender reenacting the Britney Spears Kiss Me Baby One More Time. Okay, that doesn't put it in the, that doesn't stay fitting to the time, but some of the ideas do. One weird part was when we see Rodney growing up, and he has to have spare parts, which, I could kind of relate to it as a kid, because I had got a lot of hand-me-downs, me and my sister were about 4 years apart in age. So, we were kind of at that age where we could do hand-me-downs. We weren't close enough that we had to share the same size, but not too far apart that by the time one was really old or whatever, you had to store it for years. So we were at that age where I got a lot of her hand-me-downs, and, my parents coming from another country, money was a little tight in the beginning. So there was a lot of yard sale clothes or, so I could kind of relate there. But just what was funny to me was him getting that shirt from his girl cousin Veronica, that pink shirt part he has to get on.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's funny, but it's weird. What? You really couldn't find any other male part for Rodney
Yeah, it's
here.
kind of funny because it's maybe progressive in some sense that gender only provides a sense of aesthetic and design and not no utilitarian kind of function.
Because we have Fender towards the end. He has girl bottoms, I guess. He's got a skirt, right? And
then his sister, the yellow Amanda Bynes robot, she even says, oh shit, I have a sister, and she's like an ugly sister.
yeah.
And so they play up that play
Yeah.
that a little bit. It's funny. Yeah, nowadays that would probably be canceled.
That's so stupid. It's so innocent. It's just a ha-ha here. Just like, you forgot this part. Where does this go? It's funny. It's funny. There's no need to get insulted. Is that what's going on here? People are being insulted because someone has a pink shirt that's a guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah. But my favorite scene is when he calls his dad. And, his dad tells him they're not making spare parts for me. I don't know how much longer I got, blah, blah, blah. And then he hangs up and the telephone is like, I'm so sorry about your dad. And then he's like, but with our family plan, you can call him, however long you want. I don't know what he said, but that was so funny.
Yeah, that's another one of those jokes where we just, it's a
It's
random
good.
device is us apparently a robot and they make a joke on it.
Yep.
But it is good. Yeah, I want to know where all the humans are at. Is this a Barbie situation where we made these robots to the point where they can make themselves and they can kind of sustain themselves in that way and proliferate and progress and build and evolve and whatever that means to a robot, a society of robots. But where did this start? What is the evolution of robot?
They look like they are in the sky.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a
maybe
deep theory about that.
They're probably above us. And you know what I was thinking yesterday when we were watching the movie was that Rodney and I think her name was Jenny. Did you ever watch that show, My Life as a Teenage Robot? How they kind of share similar colors and kind of look alike.
Yeah.
But in her world, there's humans. So I don't know. Maybe the robots got sent up to the sky. And she didn't make it.
She didn't make it. So the old lady in that cartoon is the creator, maybe. Jenny's mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to look up, see if there's any theories on that, but there wasn't much. I was like, wait, they look kind of similar.
Yeah, this movie's too old to have all the crazy theories. If it came out today, we'd have more theories, but it's too old for that shit now. They're not going back that far. That'd be our job.
I'm not going back that far.
Yeah. Cute movie. All right. Well, I got a question for you. It should be the question that everyone is expecting at this point. How much did this movie cost to make?
This one was tricky because it's older, but not that much older. It's 20 years, about 2005, a little bit more. And it's all animated. So I just took what my guess or what the last animated film we reviewed that was all animated, which maybe was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And that one made 90 million. So I don't think this made, or not made. The budget was 90 million. I don't think this was quite there. So I took it down to 50. And that's it. That was my logic.
That's not bad. That's really not bad. But I guess it's worth noting that it's enough time for inflation to matter. About 20 years is enough time for inflation to matter.
So it should be less?
It should be more.
Oh, it should be more than 90?
It should be more than whatever guess you're going to think. like if you're comparing it to a movie made today, it should be a little bit more than.
Maybe I'm having a dumb moment right now. What do you mean? If this movie was made today, I don't think it would cost quite what Into the Spider-Verse cost.
Which was 90?
Which was 90.
Okay.
So
you're thinking $50 million today?
No. I put in that it was made back then.
Okay. So I guess it kind of depends on what angle you're looking at here.
I don't know. I'm just going with 50.
50?
I'll just lock it in.
Okay.
Just lock it in.
It's pretty close.
Okay,
Your first guess was closer though. 75 to 80 million.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still pretty close.
Yeah.
I guess.
And that would be, in today's money, that would look a little bit more like 130. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This movie costs more to make than Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In today's money,
I think
accounting for inflation.
Well,
if that's true, Into the Spider-Verse only cost $90 million?
I think so.
That's surprising. I forgot. I'm surprised by that.
Because I think I guessed 75, if I'm not mistaken. No, I guessed 75 for Detective Pikachu. I don't think I guessed for Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, it's kind of funny that a movie like this or Ice Age or even Shrek could cost more in today's money than something like Spider-Man or Puss in Boots or something. You know, you would expect those to be a little cheaper because of the technology and everything. But I guess it's really doesn't. It shows that, I guess it has everything to say that it doesn't really have anything to do with the technology. It has everything to do with the labor. So the labor is virtually the same. The talent's virtually the same, right? And so.
Do you remember how long Into the Spider-Verse was?
No, I'd guess probably right around 2 hours because we're starting to enter this space, which is cool. I think it's very cool. It's hard to do because animated movies tend to be hyper stylized, and it can be, when those are long, they start to like just blend together, right?
Yeah.
It's a problem. It is a problem with Marvel, I think, because they're super CG-fied that everything starts to fucking feel the same from scene to scene. But we are starting to enter this space where animated movies are starting to cross that 2 hour mark, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, it looks like it was 117 minutes. So
nice. Yeah, we're getting there. I hope we see a vibrant, not too vibrant, but vibrant future of really great animated films. Nice, dramatic animated films. Too bad about Nimona or whatever it's called on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that movie kind of, it didn't suck, but it was just it was so meh. We were gonna cover that, but nope.
Yeah, I watched the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. It does look good. It's a nice animation. It's definitely inspired by, these recent animated films like Spider-Man and Puss in Boots, and it does have like kind of a Pixar-ness to it. I know it was supposed to be made by Disney at one point, and that was like, it was too gay for Disney at the time, and then Disney's like, all right, now we embrace the gayness, and then they're only doing that in a half measure, and it's kind of just weird and awkward, and it's like, all right, I don't know what's going on here, but Nimona wasn't worth the drama, so whatever though. That's on Netflix, so if you want to watch that, it's just over there sitting there collecting dust. But thank you for watching this film with me.
Thank you for watching it with me.
I did not expect to watch this. This was a last minute addition to our schedule. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmsteins. Don't forget to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to the Filmsteins on Patreon, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, but Stitcher's going away soon, so don't even worry about that, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Pandora, the Apple one, they're all good. Google. Until next time. What do you say?
Sorry. I said Google. I don't know if you said that, but yeah, go ahead.
Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins signing off.